Hey, so
We'll take
Shay,
it.
this is just how you drew it up, though. Seriously, Nebraska getting a long snapper out of the portal and linemen on campus, right? This is kind of what you want to see for a team that needs to attack where they need to get better.
Yeah, and then I'm excited to see here to start this week, the kind of continuation of going into the portal at different positions, seeing some defensive backs pop up, whether it's Addison Maddox from UAB, or excuse me, I think it's Adrian Maddox from UAB, Andrew Marshall from Idaho. Obviously, locally we know Dan Jackson out there in Idaho, and he's got nothing but good things to say about Andrew Marshall, who, by the way, a kick return and a punt return for a touchdown last year for Idaho, held his own in the Oregon game. That's a guy that I'm kind of fascinated by. That's popped up in the portal, and then you've got the kid from Nevada. You've got as the offensive lineman. You have Cameron Olds, who is just here. So they're doing a nice job of working guys in, coming in for visits. Get a backup quarterback on campus potentially over the last day or so. So they're doing a nice job just kind of working in there. And I think we're going to start to see some names pop up as commitments to Nebraska's transfer portal class.
Shay, if you think any of those commitments are coming from the wide receiver group, I know there's a few guys, whether it's Eric Rivers, Dane Key, whoever else that Nebraska's been looking at.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want to get one, maybe two. And so I think, your ideal would be Key or Rivers, but then they also like the guy from Cal. His last name's Hunter. I can't remember the first name. Just a freshman. He had a really nice year. You add that to your young wide receiver group. So they're looking for talent. I think they're really kind of open to any position, any player. It's just got to be someone that kind of fits what they want in terms of body type and if they can help them. I don't think anyone that they're trying to take is just like, we'll throw him in there and see what he does. Maybe. I think there's a purpose. I don't think they're just taking people to take them.
Schaefer, when you're looking at like the additions and the roster, it still seems like they're going to be very specific in the portal. I think some people heard kind of this overarching philosophy of, hey, we're going to do it like this now, or there's been a philosophical change. Like, how did you consume the information in the last couple of weeks versus how you're seeing this offseason play out? Do you think there's a philosophical change?
I don't know that we've seen that quite yet. I mean, they're definitely just I think a lot of it is they're open to bringing in players so they can meet with them too. Just because a guy visits doesn't necessarily mean that Nebraska is 100% going to take him or 100% wants him. But I think they're just trying to be as open-minded as they can with it. And I think you're looking for talent. You're looking for guys that can help you. I think you're looking for role players and people that can do certain things. When I talked about Andrew Marshall, I like seeing them go in and try to find someone who could be a returner for you. I know that it didn't work necessarily with Ja'Cory Barney as much, and maybe if you're going to highlight him in the offense, you don't want him as a return man. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that they made long snapper a priority and they got that one done early. I appreciate that they've had a punter on campus and that they're looking to kind of, finish up stuff with specialists early. They've certainly shown an interest in finding edge and those types of players. So they're doing a lot of what we anticipated. When he talks about a philosophical change, sometimes I wonder if that's what's happening, behind the scenes and we're not getting the full explanation as to what's going on philosophically. Are they viewing guys differently in the portal? Are there certain barometers that are being hit that make them more interesting in a player? Matt Rhule hasn't openly talked about that. So I do wonder if some of the change that's been discussed, outwardly it looks very similar. I wonder if behind the scenes, the way the structure and everything is different.
Schaefer, well, about a minute left here with you. You mentioned seeing guys differently in the portal behind the scenes, but with all the coaching staff changes, do you think they're seeing guys internally a little bit differently as well, either to the good or the bad?
Oh, no doubt about it. I think anytime you have fresh set of eyes, you're going to get different players that pop up. I mean, that was one of the discussions with Dana Holgerson when he got here in early November as to which players could end up highlighted and everything like that. So I definitely think there's the internal aspect of this too. You got to do a good job of self-scouting, and you have new coaches, who the defensive backs coach might like in that room is different than what necessarily Evan Cooper thought early last summer and where John Butler was when he moved on to the defensive coordinator role. I mean, he's still going to be involved in it, but a different coach is going to have a different player that flashes to mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, interesting too. As World just comes out with his top 3 and Nebraska is in it. So how about that, Schaefer?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the 2 teams that they're with, and you know that NIL is going to be a big part of this. And so if Nebraska really wants to tackle, that's about as much money as you're going to spend in the portal this year for any position. So good luck.
That's our guy, Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Schaefer, appreciate it as always. We will talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, take care.